Hey guys, welcome to a very special video I have for you on this total lunar eclipse that we're getting exact this coming Tuesday. I'm your astrologer, Alexandra Irving, with Chasing the Bagua, and this is a total lunar eclipse. It's a full moon in Taurus, and it is a blood moon because we're getting the moon that is passing through the darkest point of the Earth's shadow, and so this gives it a red hue. So this is going to be an intense time, and in fact we're not getting another total lunar eclipse until the year 2025 in March, just before Neptune ingresses into Aries. And so that is also going to be a big time for us. So this is shedding a lot within the financial sector. I've been talking about this if you've been following my work, especially I speak of this in the November 2022 predictive video, so you can always check back on that. But again, this total lunar eclipse, this is a full moon in Taurus. So it's happening at 16 degrees 0 seconds of Taurus. We have the moon in opposition to the sun in Scorpio. And so there's a lot of concentrated energy in this axis in Scorpio and Taurus, and this has to do with finances, but also our power, our word, our truth. And there's a lot being dialed in for all of humanity because there's a lot of factors that show that this lunar eclipse in particular is going to hit the collective in a lot of ways, right? Because Uranus is at 16 degrees as well, 16 degrees, 56 seconds. So it's in a super tight conjunction to this moon. The moon, of course, is strong in Taurus. It's in its exaltation, but Venus is the ruler of Taurus, and she is in her fall in opposition in Scorpio, right? And she's just finished off her square to Saturn. So actually a lot of things may not feel good with this energy, right? But we can handle it because the moon is strong here, and there's going to be a lot placed on our value, right? Because that's Taurus, but our emotional value, and there's going to be so much that's being shed, and the unexpected is probably going to push us out of some extreme ruts that we've been living in within our own personal lives, but also within humanity. And of course, you know, this again is resources. This has to do with entertainment and leisurely activities. And there are going to be a lot of losses that are happening. So first of all, full moons bring a culmination, bring a light that is being shined into a particular area. And so for the collective, this is, of course, those resources. And I think that there's going to be a lot that is changing, of course, within the banking system and social credit systems. And all this is one of the catalyst. This energy is the catalyst of one of these changes. And it's going to, again, affect the everyday people because Saturn just came out of retrograde on the 23rd of October, and it's in its own sign of Aquarius, so it's strong there, but it's in a square to this energy. So this is big, dealing with the everyday people, dealing with the future of humanity, especially as Uranus and Saturn, or this is the tightest they're going to be in their square for a long time, for I want to say like around 30 years. So the changes that are coming along with this for humanity is huge, right? And because Mercury is conjuncting the sun later on in the day at 11:42, this is also really important, right? Uranus and Mercury both have to do with information, and of course we're having elections that are happening that day, so there is going to be some mishaps, misfires, unexpected things, and probably outside influences, outside strange occurrences are going to happen because Rahu is, at 13 degrees in Taurus as well. And so Rahu has to do with like chemicals. It has to do with, confusion as well. So there's going to be a lot of confusion, particularly because we're also getting Mars and square to Neptune. So information is, of course, like it's so high octane, like crazy right now. So we have to dial into our compassion, into our understanding of love. And the best thing that we can do right now on a personal level is, if we're finding ourselves, being around others, let's do this with spiritual conviction. Let's do this with understanding the compassion and the love and the reinforcement of what it means to be human and to have each other's back. So I think we're going to see actually a lot of this coming up through people, through the beliefs of people as they generate their understanding of what life truly means with all these changes. I mean, Saturn is a restrictive energy, and as it's in square to this full moon, to this total lunar eclipse, there may be some huge restrictions placed on the everyday people. Or, I mean, one thing is, David Icke, who is, I would say, maybe a controversial figure. He's actually, I think 20 odd countries in the EU have made it to where he can't travel, so that is a big thing for the collective. That is a big thing for speaking, right? Taurus is actually the throat, is speaking. It is the voice. And so the voice of the everyday people is also getting muffled with this energy or censorship, all these things. But on a positive level, there is this unfolding of consciousness, this unfolding of universal love. And so because Jupiter and Neptune fall in Pisces, right? And so this is the 11th house from this full moon. So when it comes to unexpected, beautiful, magical friendships that could be happening, or alliances, there's going to be a lot that is actually coming from this. And it may come through the painful process, especially as this nakshatra, where this full moon is happening, is Bharani nakshatra, which has to do with the birthing of something new. And so there's pains that come along with this. There's suffering. There's even death that comes along with this, as Yama, the Lord of Death, is actually the ruler of this nakshatra, that governs this nakshatra. So there's, again, full moons bring this culmination, and we're in Scorpio season, Sun's in Scorpio, Mercury and Venus, which is the ruler of Taurus, are combust. So when it comes to feeling, to thinking, like we have to be guided by what is bringing us light, what is bringing us love and hope. And that is the light, that is the way forward for people, right? So again, this is going to usher in a lot of change, a lot of crisis issues. Of course, Mars is the ruler of where the sun is, and Mars is falling into the second house from the moon. So again, this is another significator of resources, hidden actions with people's words. So don't take people's words like take the feel, take the understanding of love and our past knowledge of what life means. That's how we can personally activate ourselves into a better direction, especially when there's a lot impacting what feels good, what is beautiful, and what even is stable. This is a very unstable energy. Uranus is involved, but of course, like, astrology can help stabilize this, as Uranus is, astrology, it represents that, or is one of the things that Uranus represents. So there is a lot of beauty that can come with this, but there's going to be a lot of uncertainty and changes. And I think when it comes to relationships, there's going to be a lot of endings with this. People that have maybe found themselves comfortable in relationships, this is, where they're like, I don't know if I should break it off or these things. I think this will be the time where actually, is the time to release. There's a lot of release. There's a lot of healing. There's a lot of searching for the new as well. And so just also, this energy as well, Bharani Nakshatra, according to the Brihat Samhita, has to do with cruel people. It has to do with people that are devoid of courage. So we're probably going to see a lot of people not in their courage, right? There's so we have to find our own benevolence within this energy, our own inertia, especially as Mars, the ruler of the sun, is in retrograde, right? So the planets that have to do with our vitality and our energy, they're in interesting places. They're not necessarily like in their full power, their full splendor. It's about going into the depth. So this is going to be an interesting time. I would say, resources are going to be huge. Food shortages, Brihat Samhita also speaks of grain with this nakshatra, with Bharani. So there could be some more issues going on with grain, as Eastern Europe does have a lot of those grain yields and things like that. So this is going to be a very interesting time. Again, guide yourself by the love for life and involve yourself with the people that are holding that similar vibration. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I have a lot more on the way. Of course, I talk more about this in the November 2022 predictive video. It's going to be an intense time. November 16th, we get Venus ingress into Sagittarius, and Mercury will ingress the next day. And once we move into Sagittarius season, Jupiter moves direct, and I think we'll start seeing and feeling a little bit brighter. So just hold on tight to these changes and be guided by that inner light.